Hello everyone, this is a sort of belated update on my Gypsy Caravan Camper project. It's been raining for, well, spring rains, and then summer came and now it's 100 degrees. So I had all this covered up for a while and wasn't able to get a lot of work done. But as you can see now, I've got the walls for the lower half completed, or put together and put onto the frame. They're not finished because obviously they're going to be covered in canvas and painted with topside marine boat paint to seal it off. But currently I have the lower section walls done. You can see the door here is I've got a beam across the top here to hold it square while I'm finishing up the interior cabinet work. And inside you can maybe see here that we've got the kitchen galley cabinet framed in. Let me get inside here and I'll back off a little bit. So this is the front. Get back to the back here. So this is the front half up there with the galley cabinet framed in. You can see I've got the water heater down here. That's the water heater, water inlets, and then there's an outdoor shower here and a hatch door over there to be able to access that corner. As you can see, I've got the lifts, front two lifts in. These are for the top section, will be lifted electronically with these actuators. There'll be one in each corner, so I got the front two in. On the bottom, the top will be, it's got a little pin thing here, and that will be the underside of the overhead galley cabinet across the front. And so when it's in the down position, that's where the galley cabinet, top overhead cabinet, will rest, right on the edge. It'll be a couple inches of 3 inches of leeway or something like that. But so because I'll have lights under the cabinets and such. Anyway, so this is the main kitchen counter with this middle part will have my cooktop, and then this will be the sink. This is all the water system stuff here. So I'll have a sink right here, and down here will be the water pump, the actuator, and then or accumulator, excuse me. That's the actuator over there. And then this area in the corner at the bottom will have my batteries. I've got these two monster LifePort lithium, ferrous, potassium, whatever batteries, lithium batteries. And then there'll be a shelf here all the way back. This will have a shelf over it. My sink will be here, of course, so the water will come down through holes here, and then probably in that back section there'll be a little section there for the water in and the shower out. And then under the cooktop there'll be a shelf here, and over here there'll be another shelf down here. And these are offset because I want to be able to put wiring between these to run all my stuff underneath that shelf, and also to give me a different sort of height. I was going to originally put drawers let me back up on that side over there. I was going to put some drawers across here, but with the actuator in the corner, I would have lost almost 3 inches off the back. Would have completely wasted space. Plus drawers are just inefficient space-wise anyway. You'll lose space on either side. There's room in the top of each drawer that's not used. Underneath where the wheels, all that is just, the drawers are not efficient. So I'm just gonna, on all of these, I'm gonna have, in the center will be double doors that open, and then each of these under the sink here and this big one over here will be just cabinet doors, cupboard doors, excuse me. And I'll just use Rubbermaid totes and stuff. I like all, in a camper van trailer on the road, I do a lot of dirt roading, and so I want them all sealed anyway. Everything's going to go in totes with lids sealed so they don't get dirty and dusty. So that's the kitchen framed in. So next step, I guess, is I'm going to put melamine shelving in here, and then I've just put one coat so far of, well, the back stuff's just rough. I haven't even sanded any of that, but this is just, sanded and, one coat of natural Danish oil on that. So that'll all be light color, and then the doors will be dark walnut. I've got a poplar ply that I'm going to use. Anyway, then over here by this door, you can see there's the Thetford porta potty over there, and that will be inside of a cabinet, obviously. And the cabinet's actually going to have a lid that opens up, and there'll be a medicine cabinet here on the back. So there'll just be this lid that lifts up to access the porta potty, which will be sealed, and there'll be a little side door in it here, which has the toilet roll and some spare storage behind. And then down below here, you can see this is my furnace. My forced air furnace will be in this front portion will be separately boxed off. It's upside down and backwards. These outlets will actually be on the other side, and then there'll be a vent. There's a vent here. You can see it. It'll be somewhere up around that vicinity, facing out. And that is where my kitchen, or excuse me, my dinette and bed conversion thing will be. There's a hatch in the back, obviously, there you can see, that will open. But on either side here, sorry, the lighting here is not great because I got a canopy over here to keep the rain and now the sun off. But over here, so this side here will be my refrigerator and a microwave, and then from there over on each side will be my bunk seat, dinette seats on either side. So it's 4 feet wide. There's a mark here, like right here. You can see that's where the microwave, kitchen, or refrigerator will end, and over there will be the seat that makes down into a bed, and there'll be a track running along here. I've actually got a table that's going to run on a track that you can move it back and forth on a wheel, that a movable leg, so that you can actually, it'll just make it easier to sort of get in and out, to access the storage that's going to be underneath of each of these bench seats will lift up, so that you can access storage. I thought that'd be easier than doing it along the front and having to slide things out either way. But so anyway, so yeah, on this side as well, got some boxes there in a way. But so those will be seats that fold down, and this is just a little door that's gonna open. Oh, look, you can get better lighting that way. Anyway, okay, so that's about that. So anyway, that makes so it's 4 feet wide. That makes myself a bed that is 75, just shy of 75 inches wide or long by 4 feet wide. So nice big bed. So I won't have to worry about having to, hit my head and feet on the walls. I put some polyurethane on this, and it looks pretty nice. I think on this bottom section, I've got some nice fabric. I'm going to put a padded fabric on this bottom section instead. Maybe just along the back, but I've got it. So anyway, and then the top section will actually be this natural wood with the windows. This was just kind of a test to see how it turned out, and it looks okay. The back section, but those side ones turned out pretty good. So this wood I'm using, it's just some 5mm ply, so it's it's got a little bit of weird inconsistencies in the color and funky lines and stuff. So but it's got some nice texture in it too, some nice grain. So anyway, that's pretty much where I am. Let me jump back outside here. This would be nice not to have this beam in the way. I will obviously cut that off, or well, let's just screw it on just to hold that square, like I said. But that will come off, and then there'll be a door obviously there. So the lower door is going to open out this way. The upper door will be an upper door that will have an arch on it. It's going to be just slightly wider, and it's going to open this way. So bottom door opens this way, top door opens that way. My access control panel for the lift is going to be right here in this corner. So I open the door when the top is down, I'll be able to open both doors and just punch a button and the top will lift automatically. So let me move around here. I'll show you this side. It's definitely warm and bright and sunny today. Different from the rain we've been having. Okay, so I can't see anything because of the light, but anyway, this side, as you can see, has got my okay, well, so here's the water in. This has got a gravity fill and a city pressurized water inlet. This is my water heater down here, and then I've got an outdoor shower here, and I've got a cool kind of retractable half circle sort of a shower curtain and a bamboo mat, and I've got a drain pan and stuff that I'll put here for my outdoor shower. But these are inset. I've cut inset these so they're flush, and this will be all covered in canvas and painted, so these, you know, cuts will be nice and smooth and sanded off and stuff. But these are all inset because the top wall is going to come down over the outside wall, and I've got a 1/2 inch leeway, so there's a few things that kind of stick out a little bit, and that'll be fine because as long as it's a 1/2 inch, I'm good. And there'll be I've got both a rubber kind of half circle D-shaped rubber weather stripping that will go along the bottom and along the top, and on the on the bottom section, and then on the inside along the bottom will be another one. So when the wall is up, it will seal the two sections together up here, and when the wall is down, it'll seal the two sections together with the weather stripping at the bottom to keep out any moisture and whatnot. So that stuff's rubber and it moves and stuff, so it'll go over these okay. And I've got also some of that fuzzy kind of fabric weather stripping that I'll probably put along the very top just as a extra. It'll look nicer, and to cover that gap, there'll be a 1/2 inch gap between, you know, when you're on the inside, you'll see there's a gap. The inside of the wall will be here, and then that will help just kind of seal drafts and anything. The rubber weather strip should do fine, but just a little extra seal from any drafts or whatnot. So anyway, then here's the door, the hatch door, and this is where down here will be my 2 batteries here. That'll fill up that entire space, and then there'll be a shelf here, and that will be where my inverter, my control unit for the actuators, a fuse box, my charge controller. This will be basically like an electronic sort of section that has all my wiring stuff there, and then water stuff will be all over there. So that's what's going to be all in this section, and that leaves me the whole middle section and end section down there for pantry, storage, cookware, that kind of stuff. So the back hatch here will just give me access. This is actually right here, in fact. That's the door. That's the inside. And then this is the outside. I've done just this is the marine boat paint. This is a sand beige, so that's hard as a rock. Totally impervious. It's canvas stretched over just the same walls as I did in there. XPS insulation on the inside, 2 layers of plywood on a 1x2 frame, stretched with canvas, sealed with, and the canvas then is coated with slightly watered down, sort of like, you know, 1 in 4 water to glue of Type Bond 2 wood glue rolled on, and then that, once dry, is coated with gripper paint. I use just a interior exterior gripper paint primer sealer, and then and I actually put 2 coats of that on. There's some brush strokes in this because I just used, this is kind of a test, I just did kind of a cheap brush, and I should have used a sponge or a nicer brush, but anyway, it's just my door, so it's no big deal. And you can see sort of the canvas texture still and whatnot, but which is nice. I kind of like that. And then got a bug on there. Anyway, and then that's the marine boat paint, the sand beige, 2 coats of marine boat paint on that. So that will go here, and it'll have a 30 inches wide, so it's a 30-inch continuous, piano hinge on the bottom, little lock, just a cam lock on the top to close it, with chains on each side, so it'll drop down and make a little table here, and then I can just put a Rubbermaid tote in here to pull out. Then that will have all of like my extension cables, water hoses, all these, these lock wheel chocks and stuff like that. I'll keep all in that box. Anything that's kind of outdoorsy, wet, dirty kind of stuff. I was originally going to make this a U-shaped dinette with that. This hatch was always going to be here, but this would be a permanent box inside. And then I realized you wouldn't really be able to seat 4 people at the table with that there. It sort of makes a wasted space. So I opted just to use, just put seats on either side and use just a Rubbermaid tote that I can actually pull out and just stick under the trailer when I'm not, when I'm camping and not using it. So I have more seat space, foot space, inside. And I think that's about where I am for right now. Anyway, that's the bottom section. So my next steps, I think, are I got to finish these inside cabinets here. I'm going to put this, I'm going to, sand and stain and oil, Danish oil this stuff up a bit more, make that nice, and then I'll cut some melamine to put for shelving, and then I'll need to make cabinet doors, obviously, but I'm not going to do that right away. I want to finish framing everything in, so I've got to build a flat platform to fill this space in. It'll be the same height on this side. This side's going to be a little higher because the furnace here needs a 1 inch around, all the way around. It's 4 inches high in itself, so I'm going to add a little extra. Just got a block right here to hold that up, but just to keep that heater from melting my toilet or anything, or catching it on fire. So anyway, I need to build those 2 flat platforms, and then frame in the bench seats back here in the corner. And once that's all framed in, everything should be kind of locked in place. This is pretty sturdy. I mean, it's solid as can be. These walls I built, so they're the same. I think last time we had a video, I just finished the floor. They're basically the same as the floor. So anyway, it's the floor I mostly use 2x2 framing with XPS inside, and sandwiched between plywood, and all glued and screwed together and everything. This I used 1x2s for weight, except for on the corners, and the frames of the doors are 2x2s. And then in fact I've actually added, there's a little mark here you can see on this side where the got a what do you call it, a mortise locked sort of door thing, whatever, that will go in here, I think. Depends on how high I want it. So I can lock this bottom door, and then the top door will have a separate lock also, so it'll be the same but on the other side, and it'll have this sort of standard RV pull, kind of the flat thing you pull, lock thing. But so this is really sturdy on this side, so it has something gnarly to lock the door into, and this stuff is like rock solid. I mean, it's really not going anywhere. But I built these walls with an overlap on the outside ply to go over the edge of the frame, and then this is sealed with Gorilla Glue construction adhesive inside, and then on the bottom, and then obviously screws and stuff, but on the bottom I put, they're screwed in obviously, but down here, let's see if you can see, these things here are gnarly heavy duty screws, like big long suckers. They just, I mean, I've got them all the way down, you can see. So the whole wall is screwed and glued to the floor, and it's not really going anywhere at all. So let's see here. I think that's about all there is to that for now anyway. That's where I am. It's been a while since I did an update. Sorry, this is a bit of a long video, and probably take me like ages to upload, but anyway, I just wanted to get you updated, and if anybody's interested at all in this project, it's coming along. I changed the walls a bit because originally I wasn't going to put plywood on them. I was just going to stretch canvas over the frame with the XPS. But when I did that, my first wall I did, it actually warped. There just wasn't enough structural strength. When the canvas sort of shrinks and seals, even though I had it clamped down and everything, but it still actually warped a bit, and not much, like 1/4 of an inch, but it made it not, I mean, this thing's only, I've only got 1/2 of an inch leeway. This needs to be square, square, square. Like, so everything right now is perfectly level. Everything's side to side, top to bottom, front to back, all the corners, these are straight up and down and square. So when the top's, you know, put on and it'll slide up and down, there won't be any issues with binding or any of that heavy friction. So, but if it was off by even like 1/4 of an inch, or, you know, corner to corner, if it wasn't square, then there would just be all kinds of problems with the top not coming down smoothly over it. So I just went ahead and went with the plywood instead, and I'm still going to put canvas over it just because that stuff, it makes this stuff called PMF, poor man's fiberglass, and it's really super strong. So that's what, I mean, that's what this is over on, like, this stuff here. This is what that is. It's just, it's hard, and impervious to water. So that's the important thing. Anyway, so I think, you know, the next steps is to finish the cabinet work, and then start wrapping this thing in some canvas, and I'll get the bottom section all done before I even start on the top, because I need to get some really serious accurate measurements for the top. There's going to be trim on the corners here on each side, and then so it'll stick out a little bit, and then trim on the inside of the top section, and those will run pretty close to each other, and that leaves that gap in between the rest of it. So only part that will have any connection at all is just these corner sections when the top goes up and down, and that'll be all oiled up real nice so that it just slides up and down. And these lifts can lift like 1,600 pounds or something like that, and they're controlled by a unit that actually, it's called a Hall feedback system, so that it actually reads the height of each lift as it's going up and adjusts to keep everything perfectly straight and square. So you can put like a ton of weight on one side and no weight on the other, and it'll still lift up perfectly square. It was a pretty spendy system, but it'll be pretty cool. I didn't want to try and build some sort of hand crank nonsense and deal with all that. So anyway, okay, I think that's enough yammering on for today. So hopefully that gets us caught up, and I'll try and not wait so long next time. But the rain and everything through all this, plus the walls warping, that caused a little bit of an issue. But hopefully everything will go smooth from here. Ha ha ha. Right.